Thank you, sir. Thanks for the introduction and also thank you for giving me the opportunity. Um, anyway, you would have followed with certain cryptographic concepts, right? And also you were aware of what is the importance of providing security for the information systems. Is it so or not? Right? So you know very well uh, what important role a cryptography plays here. But today we are going to see, even though if a cryptography is applied or if not applied, how a system will, information systems will get affected, and also we will see uh, various list of things in it. So at the beginning we will see what is cybersecurity, some basic introduction, and then we will move on to concentrating on IAM attacks. It is identity access management attacks. So through which areas it is highly getting affected. Those attacks we will see some overview, and also what strategy they'll follow to do those attacks, and then we'll move on to what are all the various professional tools that the current industry is using out to detect as well as to analyze and also to defend those attacks. And we will see, end up with some strategies how the current world is demonstrating to overcome those attacks. This is what the agenda of today's session, and here there is a live video is there, and also I will give you the exe files at the end of it, and all the installations, everything I will guide you so that you can install and check off your own, right? And here today we are going to see only based on Windows based tools, right? So how to install in with Windows operating system. The same thing you can use it with other operating systems also, right? So once if you learn these tools, the same way only you're going to use with the advanced vulnerable virtual machines. Like you may aware of, there are Kali Linux and Parrot Security virtual machines are there. It is having some inbuilt tools, whatever we are seeing today, the same tools are inbuilt in those virtual machines. There you don't require much installation steps, but why we are starting with Windows is here you need to know how to do those installation, and also you will come across how the tools will work more in detail, because there you will use it as a package in the virtual machine, right? But here you will learn what are all the inside aspects are there in the tool also when you work in Windows. That's why always the learning will start with Windows, and then we will be moving to the vulnerable virtual machines, right? So we'll start with the introduction as why we need cyber security in today's world is, we know very well our world is evolving to complete digitization and also automation, right? And also we have various devices connecting together. Previously when we see the working environment, everyone will be there in a single organization, in a single infrastructure, and they will be connecting. But nowadays, after COVID and all, completely it's moved to remote access. Every employee, every public started accessing the organization resources or using the applications. Everything is happening over internet, right? So completely it became a remote phase, and also it is going to be evolve in this manner only. There is no way of going back, right? So naturally these leads to more and more threats and vulnerabilities started evolving because of this evolution, and also it is happening in a greater speed actually, right? As we put more and more data in the internet, when we started using all the digitized platform, naturally that is the place for the attackers also to steal the information and to grab and to take all the data from there, right? So main purpose of this cyber security is, I want to protect everything. We cannot restrict. I want to protect my thing, I want to protect my infrastructure, I want to protect my people, identity, right? So much of personal information needs to be protected. So everything has to be protected in this cyber world. So that's where we need to learn the cyber security in a important manner. You would have heard about the CAA triad and all those things, right? So this is where we need to concentrate on, right? I want my data to be very confidential. I want my data to be maintained integrity. I don't want anyone to come and change my data, right? You would have heard many cases, right? How the information is getting stolen, right? So many use cases daily we are coming across. And also availability, when you see that making data available is the fact, but at the same point when we come across in the attacker's viewpoint, they don't want make the data to be available, right? So they will induce certain attacks, not the data to make available, not to be confident, not to be integrity to be maintained. So they will do all those things in order to destroy these things, right? As a security part of view, we want to maintain. And the thing here is, as a academic person or a research person or a learner, right? One thing what we have to keep in our mind is, these things you are all learning, we have to learn in an ethical way, right? That is the foremost thing to be there in the mind when we started learning cybersecurity, because whatever procedure we are going to see, that is going to be taken care by both the ethical person as well as the unethical person. Actually, the steps what they are going to do, nothing differs, right? But what intention we should have in our mind is, we have to use it in an ethical way, right? That's it. So these are all the, there is OWASP standard is there. You might be heard about it, right? Open Web Application Security website. So they are the one, all the industries will be following that to maintain that standard, right? And also all the vulnerabilities also will be defined based on that standard only, right? So when we see this, these are all the top 10 places it is taking actually. When you see that first place, top thing, the priority actually differ by year. 1 year some attack will be in the first position, the other year some other attack will replace that position. So, but these are all the mostly happening attacks in it. Ransomware attack, can anyone hear about what is ransomware attack? Most of the, yes.
Ransomware attack is basically when somebody attacks a system, either encrypts or sort of steals the data,
yes,
or prevents access, and then asks for a ransom or money in order to make the data available.
Yes, good. So basically the purpose of the ransomware attack is, they'll make the data unavailable, right? They will take control over all the whatever data, let it be a laptop or an organization data server or whatever, they'll take a complete control over it and they'll demand for some ransom amount. Usually that will be in bitcoins or in cryptocurrencies, right? And all those things will happen with the help of the dark web, right? And next one is phishing. Actually, when we see phishing attack, there are so many types of phishing attacks, varieties of phishing attacks are there, right? So they will do certain ways of contacting them, they'll make the people to believe, and then they'll apply many tricks over it, right? There are many types of phishing also are there. So the basic thing is, they'll make some strategies to make the user to believe in and to gain access control of them, right? And the next is DDoS. It is a distributed denial of service. It means that I don't want to make that person, that target victim, to use his resources. Let it be anything, right? Let it be a server or some internet or some organization's complete data or a website to go to a not to work, right? The downstate, everything will come under DDoS. Actually, DDoS also has so many types inside it. They will be having different varieties of applying this DDoS. The purpose is, I want to make the data or resources to be unavailable for a period of time. So naturally, they want to disrupt business or they want to spoil their reputation. In those cases, they'll do it. And man in the middle attack, again, that person, attacker will be sitting in between the source and the destination, right? During man in the middle attack, he can do many things. Simply, he can eavesdrop, or he can modify the data, or he can destruct the data. It's all based on the motivation of the attacker, what to be done. According to that, he will implement that man in the middle attack, right? Then cloud vulnerabilities, you know very well, nowadays our complete world highly depends on the cloud computing, because nowhere now we'll be having our internal storage to process it. Every organization depends on the cloud storage. So naturally, their concern also with the cloud attacks. Next one is endpoint security. Again, endpoint security is, as we are in a remote most accessing is happening remotely between organization to the employees or from clients to the organization's resources. Everything, whatever, a mobile, a laptop or a desktop, right? Everything is an endpoint. So they are trying to connect it from different network through various endpoint devices to one particular organization resource. So all these endpoints needs to be secured, right? And also there's all those things are the vulnerable points for an organization too. Next one is lack of cybersecurity awareness. It means that now most of the mediums like they didn't have much awareness about the cybersecurity. Actually, from a lower employee level, that is from the starting level, from a security actually, from a secretary to the CEO level, it needs a cybersecurity awareness in an organization because everyone needs to handle their data carefully. A secretary should know whether I should click this link in the email or not, right? So that awareness needs to be there for everyone in the organization, but still now there are still some lagging in the awareness. So because of that, many threat is happening, and outdated security patches. This is the most place where the all the viruses, trojans, everything can get in, right? If a proper security update is not been done, even it will be asking for periodical updates, but sometimes many will skip that update only, right? Even with our phones we'll do it, with our laptop we'll do it, right? We may skip because sometimes it will ask to take it for a backup. Since we don't have time, we'll simply skip, right? But the security patch has not been done, then lack of security has been happening in that particular device, right? So that may leads to an additional vulnerability. Third party exposure is usually any organization will be depending on multiple third parties. Is it so or not? So if any educational institute, they will be depending a third party like Jio or Airtel to bring up an internet connection to the organization, right? So they are third parties, and also some third party software applications like in some financial organization, they will be depending on software to take care of their financial calculations. So that time the security is not only with the organization, it is also with the third party. Right. So when their organization resources is exposed to the third party, naturally vulnerabilities also comes through that point. The next is insider threat, that is the own employees of the organization. It is also actually with a good percentage in this complete statistics actually, because every employee will not be a happy person in the organization. They will be having some communication with their higher officials, or he may not get an increment, or he may be something would have happened. So he will become an insider threat. He myself can steal the data and he can sell it out. So these are all the major threats which has been happening in the current world, current year, and the cyber world is getting suffering because of all these threats, right? And let's see what are all some attacks we cannot point out, but these are created a major distraction, or it has spoiled the reputation of the organization, or because of that the organization has suffered a lot. So the first one is the SolarWinds supply chain attack. See, we may see that SolarWind is the one which is purpose is to generate some electricity, and also recently even our country also faced so many attacks, a complete outage of electricity. It has been happened because of some, naturally nowadays all these things is not like a physical war, right? It's came to a cyber war, right? So if they want to defeat us, it has been happening to target the major organizations like that. So when you see here, this wind is the one which is used to generate the electricity part. There it's the medium where it's been attacked. So because of that, what happened is through that, they entered through that SolarWind and they compromised all the software. Everything is being controlled by a software right nowadays. No one is going and switching on for the winds and all. So everything is getting automated. Some software is running behind it. So using that, they try to take many details about their customers and also about their government agencies. All the data has been stolen from it. And the next one is WannaCry ransomware attack. This has been talked as a major attack in the industry actually. So it happens in 2007, but still it is being treated as a very big attack. So they taken all the encrypted files and they demanded for bitcoins, so that it has affected many domains actually, healthcare, government. Actually in this, when you see that, few companies only will reveal that I've been affected by a ransomware attack, but many will not reveal that it has been happened. Maybe they would have some legal issues to solve, and that way they have to tell it to the outside world. Only those news only will come to us actually, so that it doesn't mean that only this is happening in this year. So many things will never be told to the public actually. So the next one is Equifax data breach. So this steals so many sensitive data of the customers, so that once if such a thing is there, naturally when such a big organization is there, many celebrities will be there as the client, right? Many politicians will be there, sports person will be, everyone will be there. Imagine if all those personal information and those data will get leaked out, how much reputation will get spoiled for that particular organization. In that way it will happen. And the next is this one also. This is JBS meat processing. Here they did the ransomware and they tried to affect all the supply chain of that organization. Wherever they want to supply their product, everything got disrupted, they blocked, and they demanded for a ransomware, and they did it. It happened in 2021. The same way, this is the next attack, that is a colonial pipeline attack. So because of this attack, so much of fuel shortage has been happened in the particular country, right? So imagine if a particular fuel couldn't be delivered, there is a shortage in the whole country itself, then how much share and all will get down, and how much affect the whole country will get affected because of this. And Facebook data breach, so it so much of personal informations. See, one more, when we consider about this social media comparing to the previously, we have seen a financial organization. See, financial organization has a responsibility of maintaining it more secure than the Facebook, because when we see Facebook, actually the people themselves voluntarily put your data, right? You want it to be shown, but you have certain restrictions whom to see and whom not to see. But anyway, when you put your data in the social media, it doesn't mean that it is a very secure medium to do it, but even though it is the responsibility of those mediums to maintain securely. But once the data, because you would have made some restrictions, but during the data breach, they will steal all the complete details over it. So these are all the major, just it's a few, but we cannot restrict with this. As I said, there are so much of countless breaches has been happening all over the world. Our concentration of today is actually will concentrate about the data breaches, right, with respect to data, because now we are here to know how to secure the data, right? That is what your purpose of this session, right? When it comes to data breach, we can see that particularly in this year itself, you can see that many data in January, many thing attack has been happened, and in Mobiwick it happened, and in ChatGPT you can see that so much of credentials has been leaked. You know that everyone now, first you will go to ChatGPT, then only you will think of your own. The trend is completely changed, right? So how much information? See, an employee, if he wants to code, previously no one will know what project is happening in the company, but now what the employee is doing, he is giving the requirement in the ChatGPT and checking what is happening. If you want to make an architecture, he will give. So immediately, if all the data has been taken, they can easily analyze what is happening inside a country, easily happen what is inside a organization. So everything can be taken from the search history itself. I know those who have studied the cases and all, usually the Google's power is the search engine, right? So if it wants to analyze, what it will do, it will analyze the search history of the particular clients from each geographical area, so that that's why Google is powerful. So the same logic only here also, you can get it right what I am telling, right? With that only Google is power is increasing, because everyone, we are whatever we feel, we are telling to Google actually. Whatever we feel, we'll go and search. With the search, it can do easily all type of analysis, sentimental analysis, everything it will do with our data, with our search history itself. Now it's the same way with the chat GPT actually. So it is handling with that, and it's trying to see. So when we see that, you can see how many percentage each and everything is happening. So 85% is because of the human element itself. It's because of human, and 61% especially it's been happening only with credentials. So anywhere, whenever we get into an application, the credentials plays a very important role. Is it so or not? A person can able to steal that credentials at the beginning itself. Naturally, everything got compromised. Is it so or not? So very important thing to be handled, the first level is maintaining credentials in a secure way. So 61% it has been happening, and all these non-device incidents, whichever ransomware also is 13% only, and other breaches, whichever it's creating some vulnerability exploitations is of only 3%. So when you see that, our major concern, when you see that the first two factors, right? So the first factor, when you see that the breaches involve a human element. So it's all happening because of the human, whatever has been. And second one, if you see that, it is happening only with respect to credentials. The first one targeting the person, the second one targeting the credentials. So this is what the top causes of this data breaches, intention, right? What intention behind them is, the first one is, I want to target an organization. In the organization, I want to target the CEO, right? I want to steal his information. Then naturally I'll get the complete organization data. The second one, where I'll concentrate all the admin's credentials inside the organization, right, wherever. So HR, who is going to own the data, who is responsible for maintaining the data securely, I'll concentrate on that. That is my intention. The third intention is, I want to do some ransomware attack, I want to get some money, right, all those things. The fourth one, when you see that, simply I want to do some vulnerability. You know that it's many things people will do as a trial basis. Out of curiosity, they want to try what it happens. They want to see, if I touch that, what will happen. But when you are learning itself, that curiosity you should not create, because it will happen. We want to try everything, but everything has been, whatever we do, one thing we have to note down at this point, before I'm getting into another topic, I want to tell this. There are so much of legal things behind it, right? That's why nowadays cyber law has been emerging. For each and every action, there is an act is there in order to protect as well as in order to punish the person who is doing it, right? So we should be very careful in trying anything. Without an organization access or a person's interest, we cannot touch their resources in order to learn or whatever, right? That conscious we should have in our mind. The next, we will move to anything to be discussed at this point, or we'll move to this IAM attacks. You're clear, right? So here, as I said, many data breaches been happening, right? In that we have seen, if the first intention is, it's based on the person, the second one is about credentials. So when it comes to credentials, this identity access management plays a very important role. Do you accept? What do you mean by identity access management? Authentication. All these things you have learned in the previous sessions. What do you mean by that? Okay, one, authentication, then?
The creation of accounts and roles and permissions, and anything related
Privileges. Privileges, then? Yes, good. Governance. Next, only authentication is enough? Authorization. So what's the difference between authentication and authorization? You are a user, okay. Now you're going to get into some, let it be your software. Where comes the authentication role? Good. So authentication is when I'm entering into the software credentials, the system should authenticate me that I am an authorized person to access that resources. How an authentication is happening? credentials, username, password. Along with that, when you see that there are so many concepts nowadays, previously that anyway at the end we will see how it is. Previously we will see that only password is enough, but nowadays password is not enough. Is it so or not? Then authorization is, okay, you went into the website. The next, huh? Yes, can you tell what are all the various ways they can control the authorization? Yes, good. Role, what he is telling us, role based access control. Then see, basically I want to assign, I'm a faculty, you are a student, we both have a same portal to access it, right? But all the privileges can be given to everyone? No, right? I want to restrict. If as a faculty, whatever I need, only I should get access only to those things. As a student, according to you, after you get in also, here comes this all these access controls, assigning privileges, in this whom to give the highest privilege and what least privilege should be given in the access control. There are so many concepts behind it, right? So through that they'll control. So no person who do not have much access control cannot that is, they cannot bypass and go to the next level, right? A normal employee cannot access an admin login. As a faculty, I cannot access an admin login, right? So like that, certain restrictions will be there. So IAM is a very important point to maintain security at the initial level itself, right? So in this, we are going to see various attacks. These are all the mostly happening attacks. Beyond that, there are many attacks are there too, right? We are going to see what are all the major attacks which has been happening in this current world, right? So first one, we'll see what is broad-based phishing campaign, spear phishing campaign, credential stuffing, password scraping, and man-in-the-middle attack. These are all the mostly happening attacks here. So when you see broad-based phishing campaign, see, we have seen that, right, as the first condition in the data breaches, their intention is to concentrate on the person as well as with the credentials. So when we see this, what this do is, I will make a open, right, phishing attack over an organization. Let me see who will respond to it, right? For example, an organization is there. Recently, they are going for a weekend, some vacation party is there for the organization. So that data will get leaked in the newses if it is a big organization. Is it so or not? If in our college a festivity is happening, a Rivera is happening, means all over the world it will come to know that an event is going to happen there. So what the person will do is, he will create some fake pages like same way during Rivera. If you participate in this event, you will be allowed to participate freely in other event. Like that, the similar type of fake pages they will create, right? And they will float it to the organization itself. The same organization, people will receive the complete. The same way, if it is an industry, they will give for a weekend party. There is a discount. If you use this, you will be getting a 50% discount in the Amazon sales. Like that, they will give. Naturally, it will clearly completely similar to the real web page, right? So the person, there will be some slight difference in the URL. But if the person is not much aware about the URL, how a URL will look like, no, he cannot see it, right? See, in our organization itself, if a secretary is there, they don't know how to see which is the real URL, if it is google.com or google.someio.com, right? So they don't know the difference between that actual URL and the fake URL, but the page will look like exactly similar to that. So what the people will do actually, they will go and click, there will be some submit button only. That button will be leading to some phishing malware can get downloaded, or some rats can get installed inside their system. Through that, they will get into the complete organization's data. Yes.
I've even seen links where, for example,
Which one, ma'am?
There are some links that you're talking about.
Yes.
So there are some links I've seen that if they are writing some W in this, then they write two V's like this.
Yes, yes, yes.
And also, like for example, I've seen a link where font of a single letter is changed, but you can't make it out.
You cannot make it out actually. See, we actually sometimes actually their target is actually they want to all the non-techie people only their target. They'll know whom to. For that, they'll use some social engineering strategies. You know what is social engineering? They'll surf. Actually, they'll see. Now I want to view my VIT. They want to know now. From my website, they'll come to know who are all the staffs, right? What are the departments are there? Mail IDs of the faculties, phone numbers of the faculty, something is open, right? And also specialization, what event is happening, everything they'll come to know from the newsers, press releases, and with the website, right? And whatever is, and from, for example, recently one employee from other organization, he has posted his promotion offer in the social media. See, imagine. So in that, what will be there? Everything. Our whoever is the principal of that organization, his sign, right? Our seal, right? The format of our letter pad. Everything is information we are giving to others, right? So they will do social engineering actually wherever they want, and also the Quora mediums. Wherever people they want to find answer, they'll go and talk with the Quora, right? They will put. So recently one employee wants to know his architecture. So he has given all the complete organization endpoints, everything he has given and asking for doubt. So imagine, so by seeing that architecture, the attacker will clearly know where is the firewall, where is the intrusion detection system, what are all the entry points for that organization, everything will come to know, right? So imagine that seriously, actually social engineering, we don't know who is surfing what and taking details, but through social engineering only they will do this. This phishing message will be broadly distributed, they won't target for a particular person. So somebody will click it, naturally through that they'll steal the credentials and all those things. Actually through this, their target is for the higher employee actually. They want to target the higher officials of that particular organization, because normal people account doesn't have any data, right? So how it will happen is the attacker first sends a phishing mail to the target, and he will apply all strategies. We have seen only this duplicating the website and all those things. There are, you know that many strategies are there, like an offer mail it will come, they'll ask us to click a message, and more advanced is without clicking the link also they can get in actually, right? So it's all based on the how much big organization they are targeting for, so that much complex attack they will try, right? So they'll make the victim to click on the phishing link. According to this attack, this is the strategy that a particular attacker will follow. He will create some fake login pages, fake websites, and he will make the person to visit, and he will make the person to click it, and after clicking it, the hacker will collect all the important credentials, and through that, once if he gets the username and password of that particular person, he himself will get into the a legitimate website and he will see all these details. This is broad-based phishing campaign. Spear phishing is, it's a little difference here is, see previously it's almost the same strategy, but he knows whom to target. There he is not targeting, he is just making all the trial versions whom to, if he gets someone through that he'll try to get in. But in this spear phishing, if you see that, he will be doing this social engineering and social media in a very extensive way. He will do it very carefully and he will collect complete information. For example, if you see my mail ID, everything in our organization, if you see that, it will be with our name, right? Maximum with our name, initials, and ends with @vit.ac.in. This is the format for every employee. It will not change, right? He can do all guessing and he can get my username, right? Easily he can get my username, and likewise he can get my higher official username also. Then the next thing is analyzing the password, right? So this username he can easily guess, right? So one of the credential he can get it by simply doing some social engineering and understanding the format of the email username for an organization, he can get it. So here what he will do is, he will create a phishing message, same like that, but he will, same like what I told, right? He will very carefully clear the target. If he decided to target a CEO, right? He will completely analyze what is interest, where he goes, where he frequently visits, which website he frequently visits, right? Everything he will track actually. So for that they'll implement many spywares also, not only with social engineering. They can employ many spyware tools so that it will go and simply monitor what is the activities. After that, it will make the, based on their, they'll increase their curiosity like offers or photos or whatever. Through that they'll try to enter, and because of this their main target is to attack the high value person, right? Or a high value person or a important server in an organization, like that. Everything they will target for one particular medium, and towards that they will do it. That is this spear phishing. So how it will happen is, first he will try to distribute some emails with some malicious links, right? And he will send to the targets. He know whom to target, and to them they'll tell. And the users fail to understand the social engineering tech, and he will open the malicious, because he don't know what trick he has applied to fool him. And then it is only go for the targeted users, and the target system will get exploit, right? So after that they can employ anything. This is a remote access Trojan. Trojans will be going and sitting inside, and simply it will observe what it is doing it. Like that they can put many spywares inside it. They'll just want to monitor what is happening, and after that, that is used to gain, through that they'll try to get access of their internal systems. Once that one system is getting compromised, actually doing this we are seeing it in a very superficial way, but there are so many steps behind it to attain this, right? They will do one by one. They will open a back door, they'll go and sit. Maybe there are some strategies to do it. After listening, they will take the data from there, they'll pass it to the remote location, and also they'll clear the traces, everything, whatever it's there, and then only they'll come back. And also sometimes if it's not been identified, they'll leave some software there and then come back also. It will keep on spying. No antivirus or any IDS system, IDPS system will able to detect it. They can evade and do all those things actually. And the data, whatever is stolen from that they will be sending to the attacker system. So this is the spear phishing campaign. And the next one is credential stuffing. See, credential stuffing is, I want to know the credential of a particular person. Through that, sometimes we know that, right, our information got leaked. Many information would have received, like Truecaller information got leaked, right? So in that, whatever, sometimes Google itself will sell our data. We may not aware when, how our data is getting stolen and it has been released. All those things will be available in the dark web. So they will try to take the credentials from the website breach and also from the password dump. See, the password dump site is one more thing will happen actually. When a software is getting delivered or a product is getting delivered, that product's website itself will be having some default passwords. They will be having a file which will tell us what is the current password they have, default password they are using. But once if it has been received the organization, they have to change, but many organizations will never change it also. They will be using with the default password itself. So what the attackers will do is, they will go and check for, in that website itself they will get, then they will go and check what are all the sources that they didn't change the password, still they are using the default password itself, and that through that they will get, or sometimes the password itself will get leaked, through that website they will get. So all those things they will do, and that they will apply various automated tools to, they will get some clues about the password. After that they will employ various strategies, and the automated tools are there, right? that will go and try what are all the password. That's why nowadays that number of password attempts has been come. Previous to the years and all, there is no such concept, right? And nowadays if we attempt for 3 times, it's our account get locked. Previously that system was not there. It allowed for a person to try any password failures. Recently, now 3 years only it's been happening. Why? Means because of these attacks, this automated tool will keep on generating random password and it will hit the particular website, right? So that if it becomes more than 3, naturally that particular application is blocking that user. Because of this security only, that's why now we are all getting the messages like, have you attempted? Even when you try to log in with different systems also, nowadays now we are getting a message whether it has been done by us or not. All those things is happening because of these tools only. So when he try to get in that, the attacker will take the sensitive data. See here, many websites are still in weak, many government websites also is not much secure nowadays, right? So it is there. So all these techniques, whatever discussed, when it is applied in the website, the purpose is the website should be more secure. If it is a weak one, we are opening all the doors to the attackers. So how much we are making it secure, that much we can avoid and prevent the vulnerabilities. So credential stuffing is what is that is with one credential I received and I am trying with multiple platforms, right? We know very well that many people will use the same password for all accounts. See, it's happening, right? So if he see that if he gets one credential, naturally he can try what are all the accounts he has having, right? So what he is doing is legitimate credentials he has taken. He knows now through some previous breach, he knows that what is his username and password. Let it be, for example, LinkedIn also. He knows his username and password. With that, what he will do now, he will see that what are all the credentials he is having, multiple accounts he has, right? The same person will be having Facebook, Twitter, like that many social medias he will be having an account. So what the attacker will do is, he will go and create an automated attack and he will try to attempt and see that whether the same username or password in his multiple accounts, right? So the attacker he'll see that naturally many times it will work out because many will be having the same password for multiple accounts. So the attacker will take controls, and according to the statistics, if you see that 60% of people are having the same password for multiple accounts, right? All over the world, it is 60% actually. So the attacker will take control of this account. He knows that, right? That he'll know how the password has been set, and also with personal informations. Again, that carries more than 70 easily with the date of birth, name, family name, pet's name, right? So if they track the social media, they can get to know what is the pet name, what is their favorites, what is their family name, everything he will receive. So everything he will make it as a combination of permutations and he will try it actually. So because of this, he will try to get the personal information, whatever about that person. The next one is password spraying. Password spraying is, he knows that what is the commonly used password, right? And that what he will do is he will try to see that instead of trying multiple password for the one user, now the attacker will try to check a common password with different accounts, right? He will constantly, for this mostly botnets they'll employ, right? They won't do it as a manual attack. At a time, they will, that's what the name is, like password spraying. They will throw, using some botnets, they will simulate this, and at a time, everything will get access. All the accounts will get. So he knows that this is the password. So now, it is not the same person. Previous case, when you see that it's one single person, multiple accounts we are targeting. Now what is that is, he knows some combination and some name that Kami is there with, there is a common term between all these people, maybe with their relatives' names or friends' name, his own name. In that case, he will choose some bunch of people, randomly he will try with a common password. anybody, imagine thousands of people if he is targeting, at least any one's account will get compromised with that, right? So that is password spraying actually. So that any one target user will get compromised, naturally his system will get, it is like without any motivation actually, they just want to in a complete thing. For example, admin, imagine every organization admin is there, sometimes admin 123 or admin asterisk, admin hash, it may have the combination of admin name in their password, right? So they can choose all the admins of multiple organization and they'll spray with this admin password. Naturally, any one people will be having a password as admin 123, is it or not, or DIT admin like that. So they'll try to get the system compromised. So next one is the last attack, that is about man in the middle attack. You know very well, the attacker will be having multiple intention inside this, but the thing here is he will try to intercept a network connection, and this one actually here mainly we are concentrating about this public Wi-Fi's, right? See, whenever people will see the public Wi-Fi, we will get excited, will want to connect it, especially in hotels, restaurants, right? But nowadays it's been very common among the public, right? Airports, railways, wherever, if there is a open Wi-Fi, the people naturally will try to connect with this. So that where the place where a particular person can be an intruder and he can get into it. So if the data is encrypted, there are so many ways. It doesn't mean that, see, two things are there. One, if it is weak, he has his doors all open, right? If it is secured, he is going to apply multiple strategies to break it, right? So its thing is this also increasing, and we have a need to increase the strategies to protect it also, right? So we cannot, what to say, if it is a weak, we need to make it strong. If it is strong, we have to make it more stronger. In that way, it's been evolving actually. So he will try, even though if it is encrypted, if the password is encrypted, he can easily decrypt. Even if it's encrypted and whatever algorithm they'll apply and store it, he can decrypt and take it, right? And if the attack is successful before the authentication itself, then naturally the credentials will be stored so that he can monitor all the inputs, and the attacker will steal the session token in order to, there are session hijacking attacks are there. So through that he'll completely compromise the session itself, and through that he will get into it. As I told, right, it's a multiple hundreds and thousands way of compromising and attacking is there, right? So inside session hijacking, if we go, again it has different types of attacks to do it, how to go in what type of session, right? Many things are there. So through that he'll try to, if he take the complete session in his control, then naturally whatever is happening, all the authentication, everything will happen through that sessions only, right? So he will try to get all those things. So the client will connect it to the real access point only, and he will try to go to the internet connection. Inside that, an attacker can create a rogue access point. Inside this, there are so many concepts are there, evil twin concepts are there. It is that they will completely simulate exactly like a real access point, right? And that he made that will be visible. Actually, that evil twin concept, if you see that, the real Wi-Fi will be low. See, imagine the person's mentality. If it is 3 dots, one is with 5 dots, with one we will connect naturally with 5 dots in the Wi-Fi, right? So that much efficiency will be there in their network, but it will be both will be having the same name, because usually we also will be having, right, in our home we have home 1, home 2, some 2, 3 Wi-Fi with the 4 GB, 5 GB and all, we will have it, right, with the speed. So we will think in that way, right? So this is another connection of the particular Wi-Fi access point, and they'll try to connect with it. It will allow. So that is this. So they'll try to create some rogue access point. There are so much of ways in creating that rogue access point. Through that, he will try to connect with it and do all these authentication, deauthentication, everything he will do it in that medium itself, and he'll try to get control of that particular client. So this is the man in the middle attack. Especially it will happen in the public Wi-Fi areas, because in an organization or home we know which Wi-Fi to use and not to use, and also we will be having our own secure password. So these type of attacks mostly will happen in the public places. These are about the IAM attacks, and we'll have a break and then we'll move to tools. What? See, this is what about the, it's like a basics only, right? We haven't gone much deep into it. See, provided if you want to do all those things, we need that much infrastructure facilities to be there in our laptop actually. See, when we want to try out, we cannot try it with any Wi-Fi. We cannot try it with our organization Wi-Fi, right? So we have to depend on our own private Wi-Fi and to do it. So there are some practical complexity is there to demonstrate these things, right? So thing is, whenever whatever we do it, naturally that will ping somewhere and get into our organization. That's why here whatever is there, that will, even with the Kali Linux also, our organization Wi-Fi will never support, because you know it's a vulnerable VM, right? So naturally a person can do anything with it. You can create any exploits from it. You want to try it out, but that will affect the complete organization's data security and infrastructure network security. So that's why that provision is not been given, but provided we can depend on our mobile data and we can do it, only that is possible, okay? But provided if it, any lab is there that you can try it out. So here, that's why we are starting with Windows. That's what I'm trying to say that, right? So we'll start with Windows, we'll move on, and after that we can move to the advanced concept. Fine? Any doubt in this? So, okay, so I'll continue with this. Okay. Okay, fine. Actually, there are so many tools available, right? And certain tools, you want a break? No. Okay. When we see that, usually as a learning point, we may learn to certain extent, but actually we don't feel the real power of those tools. You can hear the word like Wireshark and Nmap, but these are all the very powerful tools which even though if it is an open source, right, it is a very powerful tool to diagnose many things. And I'll give you this exe files. In the afternoon session you can install and you can do of your own. Anyone heard about Wireshark? Yes? Right. What type of work you have done with Wireshark? How many of you are familiar with Wireshark? Can you please raise your hand? Okay, good. See, in the basically for maybe let us take it to a question session, since many of you are there. I hope all these points you would have known previously. See, basically Wireshark for what purpose will apply? Huh? Packet capturing. Okay. So why we need this tool specially here? For what are all the benefits we will get when we capture packet? Maybe in this way. Okay, I am capturing packet. So it means that when I run a Wireshark in my system, whatever I do, it will capture. So that is what my intention actually, right? So I am capturing everything. So what else benefit I am going to get it from it? Yes, yes.
We can analyze the packet to know about the issues that's happening.
How it will intimate us?
We can go to from which source.
We haven't analyzed, okay, we haven't started analyze anything, but when it's starting capturing itself, right, how you can understand about the happenings?
Which protocol it is using, we can go towards that. If it is using SMTP, then from which
Mm.
If someone is trying to send from the organization network to outside network too much of data, we can look towards the data, what kind of data is inside.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let me put in this way. If a DOS attack has been happening to a target, in the target, Wireshark is running. Okay, so in the target, some DOS attack has been happening. Through packet capturing, how will you understand that a DOS attack is happening? How it will be visible? Hmm?
Lot of packet will be sent at the same time. They can do the time at what time the packet has been sent.
So you can it will get loaded actually, and also you will be getting some color indicators also inside it. Have you noticed what color indicators will give you? Have you noticed that? Maybe afternoon will notice. Okay. See, basically here what we will do is, whatever is happening, the first thing is, two things we can use it. One is real time what is happening I can capture, because nowadays we need to, that is very much essential, right? Naturally the packet comes in and goes out. I want to monitor it, that I can do it. Or I can store it as a Wireshark PCH file, right? And through that what I can do, later on I can store and then analyze things for 1 day data, right? Or through the network monitoring, 1 week data. I feel that network is suspicious. So that if I want to analyze it, what I can do is, there is a, every day they can store it as a file, right? All the Wireshark captured files can be stored. Right, have you tried storing it? Right, for a period of time you can set it and we can store it, right? So like that we can store all the data in our backups, right? Then we can process. If the administrator finds some suspicious activity in the network, then he can take the data from the backup and he will apply all the, many algorithms are there. If he wants to know, he feels that some DOS attack is going to happen or happening, right? So in that what he can do is, he will apply all the algorithms and try to see whether a particular DOS attack has been happening, or if I want to classify what type of DOS attack has been happening, everything I will try to capture with the packet. And also it has a rich protocol support. Protocol support in the sense is, we will be connecting from source to destinations with the protocols. So I'll be having many filters inside it with respect to TCP, UDP, right, HTTP and all this Wi-Fi based, everything I will check it inside that. The next one is, I'll do a deep inspection of the captured packets. When I am capturing this, inside that itself I will go and check how it is nature of the packet. I'll analyze, I'll see that how it is streaming, I'll go and check that what is happening step by step, what is happening in their bytes, right? Everything I will check, right? I can analyze that. The next one is cross-platform availability, as we can install in all these things, and also it's available in the, we can work out with the Kali Linux. And where we can use it is, we can use to identify the network issues, and security analysis and threat detection, what type of attack has been happening, and protocol development. If I want to improve the security of my protocol, I want to understand what are the loopholes present in my current protocol that I can debug, and network performance optimization. I want to improve my complete organization's network performance, that I can do it by analyzing these data. And so this is what is explained. Inside that, if we go deep, there are so much of things are there, like packet analysis. In that, mainly we will concentrate on from which source, which destination, what protocol has been happening. For example, some TCP attack has been happening, okay. So in that we will try to see that how the TCP connection is, how the TCP connection will happen with the source and the destination. Usually, for example, a TCP sync attack is going to happen, right. So in that, what we will, the TCP handshaking protocol strategies, right? So usually what will happen? We'll send a request, it will acknowledge, then sync request, it will acknowledge. Every time we will be getting an acknowledgement from the destination. Based on that only the source will start communicating with the destination. But in this time what will happen is, at the time when it throws that, in the sync attack, it won't let the person to get connect. Right, it won't get the person, but it will be keep on waiting for it. Through that it will initiate various types of attacks are there, it will break the chain in between. So if you want to find out where the communication break has been happened when it is communicating through this protocol, all those things we can easily check when we apply filters, and we will check with the source and the destination, and from where it is stopped and from where the attack is happening, everything we can find out through that. And also we can have see that statistical reports like how much volume the traffic is generating, especially in the DOS attacks, and also throughputs, and we can see the graphic behavior, and we can see that streams like a follow link will be there with each and everything that I'll show you. That if you click on one particular stream, right, one particular packet capture, and if you right click and if you go to the follow link, and if you give on the TCP stream or whatever protocol you are following, with that if you go inside it, you can understand completely what is happening in that particular stream, right? And you can save and use it as the pickup file or a CSV file or any format we want to store it and use it. And we can do this for captured data, we can pass it, right? Even you would have, if you have lab experiments, I may give some pickup files and tell you to analyze what is happening inside it, try to grab data from it. So all these activities we can do it with this. We have so much of commands are there. So if I have to, I have captured data. In that I have to apply some, here I have placed only few commands for this. If we want to apply filtering with respect to host, I will give host and the corresponding IP address of it. Okay, so that all in my captured packets, that particular host IP alone will get filtered and that alone will get displayed. In the second case, if I want to find a range of hosts, usually you can give like dot asterisk at the end. It means that from 0 to 255 it will get everything will be taken, or you can specify like 127 to 255. I can specify the range also inside this. So I can mention like in this itself I can give host 168.0.122.255 like that 177. I can specify some range and I can filter this. And same way here, port filtering, I can filter with respect to protocol, with respect to port. When we click that filter option itself, it will display what are all the filtering options are available in it, that you can see it in that itself. And IP, with respect to IP, if I want to mention only with respect to address, so that I will give IP dot address, then I will give double equals within quotes, I will give something. Or if I am surfing some website, right, I want to see that website content, or I want to see that particular name. For example, I am capturing a login information. So I want to check for the data what is captured with respect to username or user. What I will do then again, I will keep that in this which contains keyword I will put, and I will check for the particular keyword also I can check. All these things we can do in the filters. And this is based on the MAC address, specifying a specific MAC address and trying to get it. Next one is based on the protocol. If it is an ICMP protocol, I can check with that. And with the sync flag, I captures the TCP pack with the what flag is being set. With that only we'll understand in what way it is proceeding, right? So I will check with that, and UDP port domain by specifying the domain of it, and also from source and also from the destination specifying the host IP address, and I can check which source or from this destination. So there are so much of filtering commands are there. According to that we will do it. This is the complete interface of it. So when you see that the first one is the option bar, all these as we have in the other tools, we will be having various file, edit, view. I'll go to this option bar and then come to here. So here you can see that in the option bar, see the first 4 things which will be helpful to capture. So whenever before starting the operation, we will click the capture button so that it will start capturing the data. In between, if you want to stop, we'll stop, restart, and all these 4 things is for the capturing options. The next one is I want to analyze it. Right, there I'll use open, save, close. The next one is I want to move between the packets inside the file or in the live file. I'll be using these options, and there will be many colors as I said, right. If it is a green means normal without any vulnerability. If some DOS attack has been having, complete flooding of data has been happening, all the packets will be turned to red actually. So those coloring options will help us to identify what is happening inside the packets, and then we can do all these zooming. These are all the options bar, and it will be having different panels inside it, okay. So the first went on that in the search bar only we will apply all these filtering options. If I want to apply IP.address equal to 192.168.1.0, then I will give that command only inside the search bar. Here I will be giving it. So at this point here, in this point, we will be giving all these filtering commands over here. So in this, when you see that, you will be having a source, destination, protocol, length, and the information about the packet, right. So when we see here, from this only, we can see that from source, from our system it is initiating, whatever be the background software running in our system, everything will get captured here, right. So and also with respect to protocols, we can see once if we apply the filter operation in the search bar, those filtered result alone will be displayed in this packet section, okay. And next here is the layered way. Here I can get the details about my packet, right. So here you can see that there is, you know what are all the layers in the network, is it so or not, right. So what is happening in the Ethernet layer, it is what is happening in the physical layer, then what is happening in the internet protocol layer and TCP layer. If any secure website we are capturing, naturally it will give us some that security layer also here, right. If it is a weak website, that will not be displayed at this point. If there is a strong encryption is applied to where we are targeting, right. So here a security layer along with that you will be getting it, right. It will, but there whatever data you have, that will be in an encrypt form. It doesn't mean that Wireshark cannot retrieve the encrypted data. It can encrypt. If it is a weak encryption, easily it will show us if there is no encryption is applied. If there is a strong encryption, we have to apply some more strategies to retrieve it, because here it will give us only a part file only, right. It won't give us a full file, but there are techniques, advanced techniques are there to retrieve the encrypted data also through Wireshark. And here only you can see that the package data in the raw bits. Even in the raw bits, it will tell us many informations, how it is, what type of data it has been retrieving. And here when you see that what network in the left corner, you can see that what interface is using and how many packets is being captured. Once we stop here, right, it can tell us how many packets is being captured for this time, right. For a day, how many packets is being captured. So through this also many calculations we can understand the network traffic, right, and malicious activity, any vulnerability injection is there, everything we can able to analyze with this. See, the next powerful tool is Nmap. Have you explored Nmap? Yes. See, it's basically a scanning tool. you know that there are various phases in moving towards, let it be ethical way of hacking a particular medium or a non-ethical way of hacking a particular medium, right? The first step will be a scanning, reconnaissance, right? All those things will be there. So I want to understand the organization network completely. I want to understand. Without understanding, I cannot get into it. So how I can understand the network is, I want to know what are all about their ports, right? About their services. All these things I want to know. I want to do the port scan. I want to find out what version of the server is there, what version of the software is running services and OS detection, what particular service is there, what particular protocols is being used there. All those things I want to know it, and also I want to see that how it is available for multiple operating system. So based on the various scanning, we will get multiple understanding about a particular organization with this actually. So what I can do is, means if I want to do a security audit, see, auditing is the one. If an organization is there, they want to do a security audit, many ways of doing it are there, like it's a black box way, white box way and grey box way. So if it is a white box, means the organization will give us all the complete credentials. They will give me this many ports you have to scan, and also access, everything they will give. If it is a black box way, means in the auditing they won't give any credentials, but they want to check. It means that exactly performing on the viewpoint of an attacker, right? Because attacker will not have any credentials, right? But they will try to get into the organization and they will try to understand the particular network, right? So that way they want to check. Or grey is both the way of some credentials will be given and some credentials will not be given. Like that they will give a combination of credentials, with that they have to try. So through this, what they have to understand is, they'll go and analyze what are some ports needs to be open. You know that, right? Without some ports need to open, and some ports will be there in a promiscuous mode also. What do you mean by promiscuous mode? In network you would have studied, right? They will allow all the traffic to get in, mainly to analyze. I need all my traffic, right? So if I make that in that mode, then I will let all my traffic to get in. I won't do any restriction. See, after restriction, we couldn't analyze, right? So once if it is without restriction, then only I can understand what are all the various intentions in there happening, how many vulnerabilities getting in my organization, what are all the targets, everything I will come to know by that time. So every organization, they will be having some nodes inside it to understand the traffic itself, and next level they will be having some filtrations, right? Firewalls and intrusion prevention systems, everything they will keep it and they will filter and then they will take it. So this needs this. Next is creating an inventory of devices and services running on the network. It means that every organization needs to maintain the details of their devices and these things. So that we can get it, right? So what devices are present in it, everything we can get it as a report. And for incident response, if something has been happening, I have to respond to the incident. Incident response is the thing that's happened, but I have to take measure. Two things I will do it. They will make a clear plan, incident response plan, and in that they will apply all the strategies to prevent, as well as if the attack has been happen, how they are going to detect it is happening, how they are going to prevent, and they are going to stop it. So all those things they will be having a plan in it, and that will contain the necessary network informations too along with that. So this Nmap will help us in achieving all those features actually. I can do port scanning, right? I can detect what these things, and I can write an Nmap script, right? So I can make and automate, right? Every time for learning purpose, we are typing the commands in the bar and we are trying to do it, but you can write it as a script, NSE script, right? Mostly organizations will be running with that NSE scripts and they'll try to automate the things using that script. And I can do a vulnerability detection so that I can identify what are all the weakness and vulnerabilities present in my organization, and I can create a network topology. I can see that how the IPs are getting connected and all those things I can understand from the topology feature of that Nmap. So simply if we give Nmap target IP, it will do a basic scan, right? It will give us some needed information. I can add powers to my Nmap commands to retrieve more and more information about the target. In what way I am going to access, in what is my intention, what information I want from the target, right? That I will add commands one by one to increase the search capability or to increase the information retrieval capability about that particular port, right? So here if I give this -a, then this is an intent scan. I can do OS detection, version detection, and all the complete trace routes, how it is how many hops are there in between from the source to the destination, everything they will get it. And if I give this -ss, then it is a TCP sync stealth scan. So it will, if there is any by firewall rules is present, it can evade that firewall rules and it do it. And one more, it can evade, but the target will know that Nmap ping is happening to whatever target you target, and if you do it, the particular target will come to know that Nmap scan, that some initiation happened from this source. That information it can able to get it, right? So even though if it is bypass it, it will know that some source. That's how we are telling that even with an Nmap skin, we shouldn't try with many officials or some government, because that ping will come to know them. If so much of request is coming from one particular source, if for trial 1 or 2 it won't mind, but sometimes if we do so much of pings from an Nmap to a particular target, means that may raise a legal complication actually. And this is for UDP scan, and this is for determine the operating system of the target. There are so much of Nmap commands are there. You can get it as an Nmap cheat sheet in the, there are so much of Nmap cheat sheets in this. There is an official organization also from where we go and download Nmap, right? It itself will be having so much of commands, and they will give us a demo website like scanme.nmap.org that we can use it to scan and learn the things. And also there are various educational platforms are there. Those IP address we can use it for learning, right? And this is for version of services. If I give it, then if I want to check for some specific Nmap script to do a particular, I want to initiate this particular script to a particular target IP. For example, if I am trying to, in an advanced way, I want to create some exploit, right? Through this I want to initiate that particular script through that particular target IP address, then I will initiate through the script, and here I will do a timing scan. I can increase the speed of it so that it can range from 0 to 5. I will mention -T0, T5, so that if it is T5, then it will be performing in a very good speed. And the same way, okay, the same way you can have this verbosity level also here you can mention, right? So this verbosity will give us to increase the, it will go and fetch a more detailed information about the target, so that you can add it. If we want more, it want to be increase the verbosity level, then I can give V to increase it. So that there are so much of options are there, so that I can increase, speed up the time, I can increase the performance of the scan, everything I can do it here. So this is a Zenmap tool. Nmap will be executed with a command line prompt. You can execute all these commands with this. This Zenmaps will give you a GUI interface, right? So this GUI will help us to do our task in a simpler way. So when you see here, whatever target we want to specify, that we will mention in this pane, target pane. And here when this drop down will give us varieties of scans, default we can select. Instead of typing, if I select a ping scan, naturally that command will come to this command prompt. So I don't need to type each and every time, so that I can, some default scans I can select, so that that command itself will display here. Through that I can add my IP address and I can execute. So from this drop down menu, I select what are all the various scans are there. See, if it is a simply ping scan I am using from here, right. So what do you mean by ping? I am not doing anything else, just I want to know which is active, right. I want to know what are all the IPs are active. So imagine an organization, I know the series 192.168.1 something starting, right, I know the series. So from the 0 to 255, right, 0 to 255, I want to know what are all the systems are active and non-active, right. So to that target, what I can do is, to a range, I am specifying a normal range. If it is 65535 range also it can check, right. Many thousands of targets can be scanned at a time using Nmap actually. You can do a high intensive scan with the help of this, right. Many IPs you can scan. So in this case, if you do this type, I can get all the informations from here, right. You can see here always there will be a starting time of this, and even if I don't know the IP, anyone can tell me, if I don't know the IP of a website, how to find it? Without Nmap. Huh? Trace route is, fine. IF config is if it is my system. I have my system, IP config I can put, or IF config I will put, and I will check that what is the IP of my system. For example, bit.ac.in is there. I don't know its IP.
You can just ping the website.
Yes, we can ping.
Or NS lookup.
Yes, you can go for NS lookup, right? Or we can ping and check. The same, it's what happening here. If I give some ping scan, right, it will give all the details, basic details about my. So when we see here, it will start. Here we are doing a stealthy scan. So it is, we are using scanme.nmap.org. It is an official website. See, for educational purpose, now we will use what is free for use, okay. Many websites are there, so that we can use. And if you want to check with vulnerabilities, you can use with vulnweb.com, right. Many things are there, so you can use these type of websites. So inside that it has multiple vulnerable websites are there. So once if you are in advanced concepts, then you can have a separate vulnerable virtual machine itself. We can have it of our own, and we can check all those things. There are some educational vulnerable VMs are there. You would have heard about Metasploitable, right? Anyone worked with Metasploitable VM? So if we move on to that, through that we can try, because it's like that can be our target medium, and through that we can do scan and you can understand the result. Why I am telling about vulnerability is, if there is no vulnerability, we couldn't understand, okay. So if you are doing, if in Wireshark we are capturing, if you are pinging something, but if there is no vulnerability, it won't allow us to scan, means nothing we will learn from it, right. We don't know what is there inside it. Unless if there is something, then only we will understand what is happening, right. So that's why we need to depend on these things, and then you can understand it. And in the ping scan you can see that, and it is giving us what is the thing has been there, and stealth scan is happening. Actually, it's, since this website has more vulnerability, it will take too much of time to complete, right. If there is no vulnerability, fraction of seconds the scan will end. With that itself we can understand a vulnerability is present, is there in the IP or not. After that we can get into it and understand what is the ports is being open or not. See, previously what we have seen is a ZenMap GUI framework. Here you can see that it is, we are giving it as a command line prompt, direct nmap command. So you can see here when I am scanning this particular website, IP address will be given, and also you can see that it is telling that 22 TCP it's in open state, and SSH service, it is a secure socket shell service. There are, once if I come to know there is an SSH service is open in this particular port, I can induce so many attacks through this. I can induce through this itself, I will go through that particular, because I can see that it is in open state, I will evade and I will get into this particular system. And SMTP is closed, and again the domain ISE bind is open, and HTTP naturally it will be open. So here for demonstration it is giving, right, the same way for different IP address we will get different results, right. And some ports, usually when you see that TCP ports, right, and HTTP ports will be open only. Without that, no data will come in and go out. And also you can see that here three is thing as, right, one is open, the next one closed. What is the next one? You can see that filtered. What do you mean by filtered? In network you would have studied. Open means open completely, all the traffic is allowed. Closed means not at all, no traffic. Filtered in the sense, I am restricting, right? I am restricting, TCP shouldn't come, HTTP shouldn't come, right? In this, I am restricting certain IPs shouldn't contact, like that this server shouldn't be contact. I am applying certain rules and access control policies I can embed in this point to the port, so that I can restrict access. So filtered in the sense there will be some restrictions, few will be allowed and few will not be allowed. So this is what about it. And let me, okay, here as a demo now, the same what we have done in our laptop, that we have captured in order to display it in your laptop. Whatever installation, everything, right, the same content I will give it to you, right, because after that we will be having certain steps to be done, so that you can see in the video, you can understand. See, whenever we want to capture something, first we will open the Wireshark medium and we will make it to capture, right. So we will open the Wireshark, and then we have to choose what internet connection we are connected to it, because whatever is being live, everything will be shown here, right. All the internet connections in through that adapters will be shown. In that, if we are connected to Wi-Fi or to some Ethernet card, we want to select whether through that which medium we are going to connect it, that we will select. Once if you select that, it naturally it will start capturing, right, it will start capturing the files. So here you can see that if it is a normal traffic, it will go on. So from this ZenMap, now we are trying to ping this vulnweb.com. Actually, when you open this vulnweb.com, inside that you will be having multiple websites will be there, right. Each and everything will be having like weak websites will be there, right, some vulnerabilities will be there inside it, right. So we are choosing that test HTML. Inside this I am taking, you can see here, test html5.vulnweb.com, right. This website is an active website, right. So that we are giving it, and we are trying to perform a scan over it. So parallelly we are capturing the packets in the Wireshark. So when you see here, it is starting this the test HTML5.vulnweb, which has an IP address of 44.228.249.3, and in this we are initiating certain scans, it is happening, and it is finding what are all the ports are open through that, right. We come to know that 21 TCP port is open, and 80 port of TCP is open, right? And parallelly, see it's again in the Wireshark, whatever activity we are doing, along with that, all other whatever is happening in that particular system, that also will get captured in it, right? So in this, if I want to know that, we know that this is the IP address of this vulnweb.com. So if I want to check that exactly what is happening in that particular IP address, so we will apply the filter function like ip.addr, and we are applying this filter function. So through that, whatever is traffic is being passing to that network, that is getting captured. And 1 minute. In this, we can see that different protocol stacks will be there, right? In order to analyze the data, I will go and check this each and every panel about what data is being captured and how it is happening inside it. So here it is keep on scanning it, and that is getting captured over there. And so, okay, in this example, what we can see is, if the website is not properly secured, right? So, whatever the user data if he is giving to the website, the Wireshark can display it, right? So, here as usual we are starting the Wireshark, and it's the same demo, 1 minute. When you see this, the protocol stack, right? Inside this protocol stack, when you see that, it will give us some information about what is the source port, what is the destination port. See, the port is the place where attackers can get into it. So, one, he knows that the port is open and what port they are, it's there applied for this particular protocol, then naturally he will be trying to these, maybe by seeing that we may seems to like all these informations are like a normal informations, but each and everything will give a clue for the attacker to get into it. And so, but this basic will stop, and we'll continue in the next session that how it, if it's a weak website, how it can capture. If it is an encryption is applied, what type of information will get displayed in the Wireshark, right?